Everyone. We would like to introduce you to our new YouTube channel that's going to feature our heart to hearts content from now on, and other things that we think might be helpful. And Hello, Leah.
Hi, Leah. It's so
So good to
nice.
see you.
Likewise, it's so nice to
Um,
film a new video.
so we both thought it was important that we put an episode on as we have made this YouTube channel. We want to, tell you guys what we've been talking about. And we have specific topics that we know that are important. They're going to come up really soon, but we came up with something a little bit weird, a little bit interesting, but we were just chatting and then having rough times, both of us. And we said, it's okay not to be okay. I think Leah said those words, and I was like, it's okay not to be okay. And we caught on to it and we grabbed onto it because in such different scenarios that we're going through in these past couple days, past week, um, we've dealt with different stressors that made even getting together with our 7 hour time difference and just to film a heart to heart. So I am going to ask Leah to start in what she meant when she said, it's okay not to be okay. And hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about how she did in hospital. So, Leah, is that okay?
Yeah, of course. I mean, first of all, the "it's okay not to be okay" was kind of a light bulb moment for me. And it came after something that happened to me that was unexpected. Um, I've worked really hard on my mental health, and I got to a place since the beginning of this year where I do my best with everything that's happening. And like you all know, I had to go to the ER a couple of weeks ago, and that really threw me off. Um, I don't know how to explain it. It threw me off, and then I came back from the ER, and suddenly I wasn't okay, and I wasn't positive, and I I didn't feel okay. And it took me a couple of days to actually admit to myself, well, you know what? It's okay not to be okay because something unexpected happened, and my life is kind of planned at the moment. So I got thrown off by an event that wasn't meant to happen. Um, it also brought a new symptom to my disease that we don't really know what it is. So this uncertainty. And I kind of went off track. And I didn't notice at first in the last 2 weeks. And then I came up with it. It's okay not to be okay. But then the people around me were like, Leo, like, what's wrong? And then I sat down and I was like, I'm not okay. I need to feel. I need to feel why I'm not okay. I need to acknowledge it. I need to accept it. I need to understand that it might happen again. But I also, to protect myself, this is my view as well. I mean, I'm not at all saying this is what everyone should do, but for me, I had to get out of that funk. I had to snap back and be like, Leah, okay, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay that, too much hospital visits, ER, unexpected things. But when, I started feeling bad inside and my mental health and my head and also people around me started saying, what's wrong? I was like, no, no, feel, because if you don't feel, then it's okay not to be okay. It stays with you. So I felt, and weirdly enough, I got out of my funk the day after I did the night test for my pulmonary damage, where I was wired up in the hospital, and then they took out the wires, and I got out of hospital, and I just was like, I'm back. I don't know what happened. And I'm like, I got out of it. And because I processed the emotions and I took my time and I voiced it out. But I mean, it was like, I'm going through a tough time and I'm meant to go see my husband on Sunday. And everyone was telling me, with all the uncertainties and because I was not okay mentally. And then I walked out the hospital. I called my husband. I was like, I'm coming Sunday. I'm back. Called my parents. I'm like, I'm back. Everyone was like, okay, just make sure that the doctors are okay with your decision. And we took precautions and I'm traveling on Sunday. And it's okay not to be okay. It was a really big revelation, but it was also very helpful to understand that it can be detrimental if you stay stuck in it. And for me, and I know because I really did spiral out of control the last 2 weeks. I wasn't, I just, it was hard. It was hard. I have to admit that this disease is hard and I keep getting complications. So, it's okay not to be okay, but I'm back and I'm back with a positive mind and happy to be doing this video and happy to be sharing this because I wasn't ready to share this 10 days ago. And I know you've been going through a tough time as well, which is interesting that both of us went through a tough time at the same time. So tell me, what's been going on.
Yeah. You said so many important things, there's so much to unpack in what you said that we all need to be more cognizant of. It's okay not to be okay has to mean something different to everybody. It has to be personal. So when you said spiral, I was gonna yes, but you said to me in a message, I feel you may be spiraling, and it's funny because the people closest to us and who love us the most, the ones that are going to encourage us to, no, I think it'll be good for you. Go to that. I think you can do it this day. It's good for you to get out and not always be in the bed. They have our best intentions and you feel that. And so, but somehow, at least in my case, it makes me the most offensive, the most heightened, the most snippy, snappy, crabby, any little words that people will use, which I also take offense to because, 40 years of niceness. It's like, hey, what did that buy me? Nothing. But you have to remember that they're not mad that we're acting snippy. They want us to feel good and feel better, feel okay, feel anything that's positive. And that's another thing you just said there, that it's okay not to be okay, but I'm positive. So for you, it's like, okay, I'm not okay, but I'm positive. For me, it's okay not to be okay. I feel like my positivity is like part of that. So I didn't think of that, but that's a good way to think of it. My okay not to be okay is going to have a positive attitude when Leia, who knows me well already, and oddly enough, from an ocean apart, and, my husband, my mom, when they start to get this red flags of my mood, yeah, are you okay? That's when you listen because they know you and it's okay not to be okay. I'm taking your phrase and just turning it into a whole, philosophy, but it meant a lot to me because it made me sit back and be like, oh, it's okay not to be okay. And it's like it is because it's hard not to be okay. And with a disease that affects, many parts of your body for most of us, and many aspects of us, and our, like you said, our mental health, is really put to the test trying to manage these symptoms. Um, it really hit home that okay, today, yes, yesterday, my husband and I hosted Thanksgiving at our home in Connecticut, and we had friends, both sets of parents and siblings and nieces and nephews, everything that I would want, everything we wanted. And I was petrified the days leading up, the week leading up. I was excited and I felt like a score. It's at our place we can host because I could even be in the bed if necessary and still have my people and maybe make it look a little pretty. I was thinking if I can't do much, what can I do? Because, with my husband cooking and cleaning and taking on the rest, and I know I'm so lucky. And but it was you caught me, Leah, spiraling. My mom caught my mood a little off, and I got defensive. And then I got like checked a little bit. And then I was like, yeah, I am spiraling a little, and I am not being as positive as I usually am. And what is that? I had to process emotions. I'm angry. I've spent the last almost before yesterday, Thanksgiving, the holiday here in the US, I spent the prior 48 hours almost on the phone fighting administratively for the meds and treatments that I've been getting for years, same doctor, same insurance, and for some reason, some problems. So the stress of that, it made me spiral, as you say, which is a great word. None of us want to be, do not go down the more of the, we're already down a rabbit hole. We don't need to go down anymore. So I really felt that word when you said that to me, spiral. First, it made me a little mad, and then it made me in a funny way. And then it made me think, she's right. Because if positivity isn't part of this, then it's not me. And if you're not generally a positive person, that's maybe something you'll have to work on because disease is much better handled with a positive outlook. It's all we've got, sometimes. So I really appreciate you mentioning those things. And you made me think about not being okay deeply. And we're at different stages in our disease, you and I. And sometimes I think you push me in a way that I'm like, whoa, child, this isn't 5 years ago. I feel like, the old grandmother telling you I can't keep up. But, you do get different things along the way. And so I think that you've made me think about not being okay in a much deeper way and a way that made me had to admit that I had anger. Um, I don't usually, that's not something I like to feel that I'm like, I'm angry. It's like not me. And so if you are a person who's like angry and you're not acting angry, your loved ones might notice, hey, are you okay? Because it's not you. And so really we're trying to like be our authentic selves. And so I think it's okay not to be okay in lots of ways. And you've got to decide what that means for you. And when people tell you, no, it's good for you to do this, you have to have that autonomy to say, usually I'd agree with you, but this time I don't because etc. So, because Botoxes get late or because it fill in the blank, but you have an idea of why. And so it's okay not to be okay. Go ahead.
No, I mean, you said it all as well. And I guess our message today is the realization that it's okay not to be okay, but it's also, you know, if you got to process what's happening, it's work on your mental health, whatever it means to you, but to be as okay as possible to live on a day-to-day basis with chronic diseases, not just SPS. The more positive you are, the easier the battle is. And it's okay not to be okay is a beautiful phrase.
It is.
But it's also important to realize it and to process it, because spiraling out of control, so mental, can do, in my case anyway, and I think in your case, can do a lot of damage. So guys, it's okay not to be okay. And I'm the first one to tell you that. I said it on my Instagram, and I thank one special person who actually told me, like, you know what? You're so positive all the time, but I've been seeing you negative the last 2 weeks. Why don't you share it with the community? And I snapped and I was like, you're right. Let me tell people that I'm not okay. And I took the phone and I did the video. And that's why we did the YouTube video today. And that's it. I don't have anything more to add, but yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this with me. And thank you guys for, watching. And if anybody missed old content on Instagram, now you can watch it easily on our YouTube channel. And thank you, Leia.